many millions of taxpayer funds have been shoveled to consultants working out of their basement? And to make matters worse, we learned that Canada, at any given point in time, has enough ammunition to last about 3 days. Does that concern you, Minister? It should.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.
Gang, what's up? Just Aaron back with another committee video. There's so many of these. These conservatives and liberals do not like each other. You can tell in committee, guys. The committee meetings are just about as dysfunctional as question period is. It's a pageant, but my goodness, it's exciting every time. Here we're gonna watch another liberal get cut up by a conservative. That's the way that it seems it goes in these committee meetings, most of the time. Like, point of order, well, we'll see if there is one. This is a lot to watch, guys. Let's check it out.
I'm going to move on, begin the second round. Mr. Brock, you have the floor for 5 minutes, please.
Minister Blair, welcome. Minister, do you know how much the Department of National Defense spends on management consulting contracts last year?
I don't have that number available to me, but I've got some pretty good people who may have that information. Brian?
Approximately $73 million.
That's correct. It's exactly $73 million. We asked your department to furnish us with details, and that's the response that we got. $73 million when men and women of our services are couch surfing, lining up at food banks, money not spent on boots, money not spent on equipment. There is indeed a morale crisis with our service personnel. And to make matters worse, we learned that Canada, at any given point in time, has enough ammunition to last about 3 days. Does that concern you, Minister?
Yeah, of course. As a matter of fact,
should.
and I would refer you to the new defense policy update, Our Strong and Free, that I just released, where we actually articulated those concerns and the investments that we needed to make. And by the way, the money to do that, to invest in for example, ammunition production and provide the money for long-term contracts is in that document, but it's also in the 2024 budget.
Thank you.
And so
Thank you, Minister. I got to move on. My
concern.
time is very limited. I appreciate your response. So I got a list of all these middlemen contractors. These are contractors who are retained by the Government of Canada to ultimately hire professionals. And surprisingly, one of the entries is from SNC-Lavalin, the company that was mired in controversy not too long ago, facing bribery, corruption, and fraud charges, ultimately put pressure so much on the Prime Minister and his staff that would lead to another conviction of ethical violations. They would be probably the last person the Government of Canada would want to align itself with, yet SNC-Lavalin got $115,000. So the question is very simple. Why did taxpayer monies of $115,000 go to this company?
Well, and again, I don't know that particular contract, and I don't know whether my officials would have that information, but I'd invite them to provide it if you require it.
Officials?
I don't have the details on that contract.
What did SNC-Lavalin do?
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but my name's Aaron. This is Question Period Canada. I invite you to like, subscribe, share, get notified, comment, all of those fun things. Check out one of the other videos. We have a great time here learning about Canadian federal politics, sharing that with you. Back to the video.
You don't have details?
Sure,
to
Mr.
provide
Chair,
us with details?
when the dates were when that contract was in place.
Last year.
But we can look it up.
It was last year.
And as Troy mentioned, we're talking about an incredibly large number of
I got to
contracts
move
that
on, Minister.
So
I
having the
appreciate
particular
that.
details of one of them.
I appreciate that. I'm looking at this list. It's roughly 3 pages. They're either corporations, limited corporations. The identity is pretty much explanatory as to what they do. Yet there is one entry for an individual by the name of Melanie Randall. Would she be a Liberal donor or affiliated with the Liberal Party of Canada?
Melanie Randall is.
Well, Melanie Randall received $137,812.49 of taxpayer funds. I know I certainly want to know, and I'm sure all Canadians want to know, why a certain individual has received a pretty significant contract. I'd like to know who she is, what she did for this government, and what value has Canadians received. You'll provide that to me, Mr. Crosby?
Yes, we can do that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Here's another big one. Pardon the pun, because the name is Big Rideau Leadership Services. Last year they got $14,000. Do you know what they did?
Not specifically, Mr. Chair.
Do you know where they work from?
I'm not specifically aware. I've heard of the name of the contractor before.
Well, we did a search, and Big Rideau Leadership Services works in a residential area just outside of Ottawa on 6 Brandy Creek Crescent, likely working out of their home office or basement, just like the infamous GC Strategies.
Point of order,
Which-
Chair. I'm just concerned about personal information being given out about individuals. I don't know where this is going, but
Public domain.
you know, we know that Mr. Yeo was a conservative donor, but
Point-
you know, I don't really see where
Point
this
of
is
order
going.
on that point of order, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Brock.
Okay.
point of order.
We're going to correct the record once and for all because both Ms. Shanahan and Ms. Khalid are misrepresenting the evidence that this
Point of
committee
order,
had
Chair.
heard.
That's
I've got the
really-
floor, Chair.
Point of order, Chair.
Got the
I'll
floor.
hear you in just 1 second.
Are both misrepresenting the evidence of Mr.
Chair,
Yao.
I'm sorry, I
Mr.
cannot allow
Yao
those kind of comments to stand,
presented
Chair.
a
My
donor
apologies, Chair,
card,
I
Okay,
can't
thank you.
get
not
those
a
comments to
membership
stand.
card
All right.
from the
Absolutely.
Conservative
Remember
Party
the
of Canada.
translators. Okay, thank you, Mr. Brock. You've made your point. Ms. Khalid, you have a point of order?
Not anymore, Chair.
Okay. So, Mr. Brock, you have just literally a few
I
seconds.
got one question left.
In a few seconds, so no preamble, please. Please ask
Yeah.
the question.
How many millions of taxpayer funds have been shoveled to consultants working out of their basement?
We don't shovel taxpayer dollars anymore.
Paid out to consultants working out of their
that's an
basement.
entirely
Mr.
different
Brock, your time is up, and I heard a response from the minister, so I'm going to move to Ms. Shanahan for.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics. So we're gonna wrap it up right there. What a crazy all these committee videos, guys. They are wild and crazy. They're fun to watch. Like if you're an interested Canadian in federal politics, it's happening right here in committee all the time. We bring you as many videos as we can. Like, subscribe, share, get notified. We do a live show. It's fun. Come check that out. Check out one of the other videos that are floating around. That's gonna be fun too. That's it. Thank you for watching this one. We'll catch you at the next committee video. There's always something interesting to share as we learn about Canadian federal politics. Catch you next video.